welcome to our first mini lecture video in marketing. And in this video, we're going to introduce the module a little bit, and I'm also going to introduce to you the subject of marketing. And you'll notice here on our first slide that it's headed Marketing and Customer Value. And that's a really important point to note, because marketing is all about providing our customers with value. So let's get started. What exactly are we going to learn in this module? Well, you will see all these topics on the homepage of the Canvas site, but we're going to be learning about the marketing environment. In other words, what is the impact of the world, of other businesses, of the market that our business sits in? We're going to learn about market segmentation and positioning, and that means how we break the market up and target different groups of customers. We're going to learn about market research and how a business puts together its marketing mix. And by that, I mean what kind of product it offers to its customers, what kind of price it sets for those products, where it sells those products, how it gets those products to customers, how it chooses to promote those products, and of course, services. Most of our businesses now are all about services, certainly in the UK. We're going to understand something about digital marketing, the role of international marketing, and market planning. So those are our topics. How is this going to work in this module? Well, one thing that we're always keen to know about is an assessment. And in this module, there are two assessments. The mid-semester assessment is a group presentation. So you'll be working with probably 3 other students to prepare a presentation where you will pitch a marketing campaign for a business. And then at the end of semester, there is an individual assessment, a takeaway paper, which is a marketing plan. You can see all the details about both of these assessments on Canvas, and also the course content and everything else, of course. So one thing I want you to remember right at this point is that all of the things you learn from one semester to another are connected. They're like a chain of things that are connected. Don't break that chain. Try and keep them together in your head. So, for example, in semester 1 in your business and management module, you started using SWOT analysis. Remember that? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. You carried out PESTLE analysis. You might have looked at Ansough's matrix. You might have looked at Porter's 5 forces. You certainly learned about globalization and organizational structures. You did some work on corporate social responsibility, and in economics, you learned about elasticity. All of these concepts are relevant in marketing. These are things that we're going to come back to and we're going to build on. So that's the module. What about the topic? What do we mean by marketing? What is marketing? Well, before we answer that question, we're going to have a look at a few products that failed and see if that helps us understand what we mean by marketing. So what about this one? You may never have heard of this. Evian, a company famous for selling bottled water, they released this product a while ago, a bra that can be filled with water in order to keep the wearer cool. Are you surprised that this failed? I don't think you are. I'm certainly not surprised that this product failed. Why did it fail, though? Did it fail just because they didn't advertise it properly? Did it fail because Evian didn't promote it properly? No, I think it failed because it's just a product that nobody really wanted. We didn't want it. And what about this? This was a product offering from Twitter a few years ago. They brought out this little handheld device which was specifically aimed at enabling you to use Twitter. That's all. Well, really? Do you really want to carry this around on top of your phone, which actually does the job for you just as well anyway? And the answer to that is no. Again, it's a product for which there was really no need. Customers didn't want it. This lovely little yellow car is a Toyota Nano. This came out a few years ago. Tiny little car aimed at city dwellers. However, it was a bit too small and a bit too cheap. And again, customers just didn't want it, not in any numbers. And so it failed. And then there was Google Glass. A few years ago, this was on the front cover of every magazine, every newspaper. It was all over the web. It was going to be the next big thing. But in the end, people didn't want to buy Google Glass. They didn't want to wear Google Glass. They thought perhaps that other people might think them a little bit odd if they wore this thing. And therefore, there was no demand for it. People didn't want it. So the reason why all of these products failed is because there was no demand for consumers for them. It wasn't that they weren't promoted properly. It was they didn't fulfill a need. So let's go back to our definition then of marketing. If you look online, you'll see 1,000 different definitions of marketing. This one I like because I think it's comprehensive but quite simple. And it comes from a reliable source. It comes from the Chartered Institute of Marketing. And they say that marketing is the management process which identifies, anticipates, and supplies customer requirements efficiently and profitably. So if we put that into simple language, what it really means is marketing is finding out what customers want and giving that thing to them, of course, at a profit. And I really want you to remember that marketing is not advertising. Marketing is not promotion. Both of those things are one small part of marketing. Marketing is much bigger than that. Marketing is really about finding out what consumers want and providing that thing to them, providing those consumers with the products and the services they want at the right price that they're willing to pay, getting those products and services to those consumers in the way that they want them, and of course promoting them in the right way. But fundamentally, it's about giving people what they want. And that, of course, means that we need to know what they want. So we have a definition now. But what are businesses trying to achieve with their marketing? Well, the truth is different businesses are trying to achieve different things at different times. If we think about what businesses are trying to achieve right now, in the middle of a global pandemic, most businesses are simply trying to survive. And that might mean that they're having to develop new products, things that will sell online. It might mean that they're needing to target new groups of people. It might mean they're needing to change their distribution channels. But at other times, businesses might be really keen to increase their market share, to increase the number of customers, to develop new products, and of course to do things like encourage brand loyalty and encourage repeat purchases. All of these are valid marketing objectives that different businesses have at different times. And of course, most businesses will be aiming to achieve more than one of these things at any one time. So how do we know if a business is successful with its marketing? Well, we can go back to those marketing objectives. We can measure things like market share. What percentage of the market for fast food, for example, is owned by McDonald's? That will tell us their market share. What percentage of all groceries bought in the UK are bought at Tesco's? What percentage of smartphones are Apple iPhones? That will tell us the market share. We can also measure the sales volume. What's the number of iPhones that Apple sell? Or maybe we could think about the number of brands. There are some businesses that have many, many different brands within their business. For some businesses, success is all about consumer awareness. So for example, if you are creating a new video game one of the biggest things that you need to achieve is get it known to your potential customers. You need people to know that it's there, otherwise they're not going to buy it. So for a business that's relatively unknown, consumer awareness is absolutely key. And new product developments is another way to measure success. There may be others as well. Okay, so we're going to end our first video there, and there are a few questions for you to answer now.